I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefits of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
I want to share with you the story of my friend Donald Trump.
What we were able to do today was allow people to see his heart for themselves and to make up their own minds about him. And they find out that he's not the person that the media has depicted him to be.
He will make our country great again. The story begins in New York in the early 70s. The city was on the verge of bankruptcy, but Donald looked across the river and saw not a troubled city, but a city that symbolized America's greatness, and he was committed to making it great again. Donald was born in Queens to Fred and Mary Ann Trump. His father was a builder and was the greatest influence in young Donald's life. He learned about leadership early at the New York Military Academy. He became captain of the baseball team and captain of the cadets. He learned the building business at his father's side while working on his degree at the Wharton School of Finance. After college, Donald faced a decision: join his father in Queens or dream big and make it in the greatest city in the world. The decision was easy. Donald's first notable project was less about renovating a building than helping the city rediscover its soul. The once great Commodore Hotel languished in a rundown neighborhood next to Grand Central Station. The hotel was sold to the one developer who showed that he had the kind of drive, backing, and imagination that would be necessary. They chose Donald Trump. Donald convinced the banks that they had a moral obligation to invest in New York and negotiated a tax abatement with the city, jump-starting the project and creating new construction and hotel jobs. Donald's striking new building revitalized the neighborhood.
He single-handedly changed the Grand Central, the Midtown area, by himself by doing that project.
Before long, more Trump buildings helped change the skyline of New York. Building in New York was not easy, but Donald was never more frustrated than watching the city waste 6 years and $13 million trying to rebuild Central Park's Wallman Ice Rink. Donald was astounded. It took him only 2 years to build Trump Tower. So he stepped in and took over the project. He finished in 3 months and under budget. He took over another city project, tied up in red tape since 1978. Donald transformed a landfill into a championship public golf course and saved the city millions. Donald will tell you his secret for success is a strong team.
He just has that knack of finding the right person, the qualified person who will really excel in that position.
Like his father before him, he taught his children the business, and now they're important members of the Trump team.
Mr. Trump and his children, they love what they do, and they are incredibly good at it. And I think that breeds the same type of passion for all those that work for him and are around him.
From day one, my father trained us really well, whether it was in a boardroom, whether it was on a job site. We spent time learning the business, and he made sure we understood the value of a dollar and what it meant to really work.
He'd send me renderings when I was a little girl with handwritten notes on them of buildings that were under construction or in the planning stage and say, I can't wait for you to grow up and help me build these. Now it's fun to stand shoulder to shoulder with my father.
Over the years, Donald has created tens of thousands of new jobs, many of them for women.
When I was building my building on Park Avenue, and he was building the Trump Tower, he had the first female construction superintendent on the job.
When he made me general manager 9 years ago, there were only 3 female general managers of 5-star hotels in the whole of North America.
After a long career, accomplishing much of what others said couldn't be done, Donald Trump has set his sights on a new rebuilding project.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Donald has said he admires people.
All right, Donald, we've got some questions for you.
Mr. Trump, you've done great things in your life, and I just wonder, how do I, as an average person, begin?
Well, first of all, never think of yourself as average. You started off with the wrong question, because you're not average. You've got a lot going. I see you're smart. I see you're very beautiful.
Who put themselves directly on the line. Today, he's not only putting himself on the line, but under fire. Donald could have continued his successful career and spent more time with his family, but instead, he chose to run for president.
See, he doesn't need to do this, but what's been happening over the last 8 years has been so tragic for the course of our nation, he simply had to do this.
For my father to step away from a company that he's deeply committed to in favor of running for elected office was a real sacrifice for him.
It's Donald's nature to help others.
A lot of times he comes across a story or meets a person that touches him, and he'll make sure that that person is taken care of privately for the rest of their lives.
Donald Trump has a very big heart. When police officers or firefighters or even sanitation workers, correction officers, I can remember a teacher got injured or died, he would step forward and he would make an anonymous contribution.
For Donald, it all begins with our young people.
Donald Trump believes that higher education and more job opportunities will enhance the quality of American living.
Donald is committed to protecting our families and keeping our cities safe.
What I see out of Donald Trump, it starts with a message. It starts with a positive message of respect for the American law enforcement officer. But we need it from our national leaders, and that's where we're not getting it right now.
He is the one candidate, the non-politician, who can fix our broken economy and get America working again.
Trump is a guy, brand new, comes in, shakes up Washington, changes policies on taxes and regulations and helps businesses, and middle-income wage earners will get a raise for the first time in 15 years.
Donald will stand up for America.
Donald Trump understands negotiation. There's just no doubt about it. It's one of his great strengths, and we have been taken to the cleaners in world trade. We are losing jobs every year, every day, as a result of bad trade policies and bad trade agreements.
While some politicians say our best days are past, Donald believes our best days are yet to come.
Ronald Reagan was a cheerleader for America. He would talk about what a great country this is, how important it is to work. That gives incentive to people, and it makes working hopeful. I think what Donald Trump can do, he can give us hope again. He can give us pride in being an American again. He can make us feel like what we should feel like. We're exceptionally lucky people living in this country.
Donald Trump is a leader, not a politician. He will be honest with the American people. He will stop wasteful government spending of our tax dollars. He will cut our taxes and create jobs, and will rebuild our broken economy. He will lead this country, not apologize to the world for our success. He will always put America's best interests first, whether it's a trade deal with China or standing up to radical Islamic terrorists. As he has done so many times before, he will stand up for the brave men and women who defend our country and who protect us here at home. He will bring about the change this country so desperately needs and get the job done. It's been a long time since we've had a president like that. Donald Trump, it's time to make America great again.
I support Donald Trump, and everybody knows. 100%.
Families. I know Donald forever. I like Donald very much.
Wonderful guy. I mean,
he is.
And he's miscast by the media. You know that.
I like Donald. He's got an enormous ego, but he's a good guy. He's got a big heart, by the way. He's very good to people. He's very kind to people.
People don't know that.
You just have to get that word average out of your vocabulary, and you have to tell yourself that you're great, and you have to believe it. If you can say it and don't believe it, it doesn't matter.
A kid that worked in the back.
Right.
I said, well, hey, how is Donald Trump? This is before he ran. This is months ago. He goes, unbelievable. He would come backstage, come back to the kitchen, and give $100 to the staff.
Yeah.
He would give these guys quietly. Nobody would know about that.
The fact is, I go down the streets of New York, and the people that really like me are the taxi drivers and the workers, et cetera, et cetera.
Also, his children. I know his son, Eric. I've met him a couple of times. These are great kids.
They're great kids.
They're great kids.
Yeah.
You know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Do you like him?
Yeah, I mean, he's real. That's all we need.
I like his ideas.
Those are real letters. Those are not corporate letters. Those are not letters from Exxon.
These are handwritten.
Those are not letters from General Motors. Those are letters from people. You have to have heart. You have to take care of women's health issues. You have to take care of poor people that don't have, that they're never going to have a shot. And you have to take care of African-American youth who have never been in a worse position than they are right now.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally.
I think Donald Trump, underneath it all, isn't just a business guy. I think he loves America. I really do. I think he cares.
This country has such potential. I love the country. I think we can make it better than ever before. We have to unleash it. People have lost their spirit.
Donald Trump represents truth, logic, and common sense.
His incentive and his self-interest is tied to the well-being of the country that he's supposed to represent.
They love me, I love them. And I'll tell you something, if I get the nomination, I'll win the Latino vote. I will win it because I'm going to create jobs.
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Get behind the candidate, Mr. Donald Trump. That's going to do something for you. That's going to give you a handout instead of a handout, baby.
A lot of things that he said is true.
Wow.
The Mexican border. And,
you're Hispanic and you're saying that. Are you sure? Wow.
I know what Donald Trump is doing is representing the absolute heartbreak and anger and frustration at a government gone mad.
I guess I just wanted to find out if there was one thing that you wanted people to remember about Donald Trump. What is it?
Never, ever give up.
The power of positive thinking, and I think that's very much in Donald's makeup.
If I become president, I couldn't care less about my company. I want to use that same up here, whatever it may be, to make America rich again and to make America great again. Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Do not underestimate the power of Donald Trump, or you will be scratching your head wondering, how did he get the Republican nomination? And we will see the best debate in history. Hillary Rodham Clinton, Donald J. Trump.
We are here to stay. Donald Trump all the way.
Donald Trump has came up with some very strict immigration laws that would guarantee work in the African American community.
I hope he gets through with his intentions about building the wall.
Well, I just want to let everybody know that not all Latinos are blind.
He knows what money is, where it comes from, and how to make more of it rather than redistributing other people's in exchange for their vote.
And the intensity with Trump is like nothing I've seen since I was a little kid and Reagan was running. And they were saying this is America's last shot.
If we don't get it right this time, we're not going to have a country left, folks. We're not going to have a country.
Are we seriously trying to figure out whether or not Donald Trump would make a good president? The man has major skills that he can offer.
This country right now owes $19 trillion, and they need somebody like me to straighten out that mess.
Honestly, I really think voters and Americans are looking at this guy saying, it's refreshing to hear somebody not be a wuss,
not be a politician and really say what they think.
These aren't dumb people. These are American patriots, and they want this country turned around.
I don't want nuance. I want bold colors, red, white, and blue. America, I have seen in the last several decades, absolutely fray and decline. When I saw those guys on the boats, on their knees, I mean, that says a picture about America that I haven't seen ever before. Democrats, not one or two, but many, are voting for Donald Trump, as well as Republicans. I've seen this all over the place. So I think there's a big, big movement happening, and I got to say that, you know, we need them.
You know, this is a movement, folks. This is not like even maybe about me. I don't want it to be about me. This is about common sense. It's about doing the right thing.
The silent majority is back, and we're going to take the country back.
I have a big heart. I'm going to take care of people. I'm going to make sure that this country comes first. We don't come first. We don't come 10th. We take care of everyone else but our own, and that's going to change.
We're going to become rich again. We're going to become safe again. And we're going to become strong again.
Nothing is wrong with us. We don't have to like illegal aliens. We don't have to. We're Americans. We want Americans first. Why can't we be first?
We are ready for a change. We are ready, and our troops deserve the best.
And in the Middle East, I guess we've spent $5 trillion. We could have rebuilt our bridges, our tunnels, our roads, our hospitals, our airports. We could have rebuilt our country. We could have rebuilt our military. We could have taken care of Social Security. We could have taken care of everything.
We are going to win so much. We're going to have win after win after win. You people are going to get sick and tired of winning. You're going to say, please, please, President Trump, we can't take this much victory. Please stop. We don't want any more wins. And I'm going to say to you, we're going to win. I don't care what you say. We're going to make our country great again. We're going to win. We're going to win. And we're going to win. Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever's necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented, and the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning.
He will make our country great again.